What is going on, guys? Carter with Edged Mindset. Now, you may have heard the term integral folder, integral folding knife, something along those lines. Whether you're new to the knife world, maybe you've been around for a little while, you may have heard that term, and you may not fully understand, A, what that means, and B, why do they cost so much more money if it's an integral folder? So today we're going to cover that. I'm going to compare an integral folder with some liner locks, some frame locks, some regular construction knives. So right here in front of me, I have 3 integral knives. Now, all 3 of these happen to not be all that pricey because they are made overseas, but they are more expensive than their traditional constructed counterpart, hands down. Now, if it's made in the US, of course, it's just even more than that because of the cost of labor and things like that. Now, I don't know, unfortunately, who was the first one to use the integral system in a knife. A lot of these knife things are kind of hard to track down. I know Peter Risanti was one of the early pioneers of using it fairly extensively in his knives. I don't think he invented it, but I could be wrong. So if anybody knows where the first integral folder, who did that? I would assume it's probably a custom maker, but I don't know for sure. Please comment down below. I would love to know that information. I know for me, Peter Risanti, I think it was the Nirvana, was the first one that I ever saw. And I'm not talking about the Spyderco collaboration. I'm talking about his custom version, which came first. That's the first time I saw an integral, but I'm sure somebody did it before that. So let's take a look at some of these knives. Let's just flip these around here. And for those that know what an integral is, this is going to be boring. But if you don't know what an integral is, I want to see if you can tell right off the bat what is going on with these and what that could possibly mean. Just looking at some similarities between these 3 knives, which are all integral. Now, the first thing you may notice, potentially, is there's no body screws, front or back. The only screw, like on this knife, is on this pocket clip right here. Let's take a look at this Microtech Anax, which is a collaboration with Rike knives. Once again, same thing, pocket clip screw, no body screws. You do have this one up here holding in the stop pin, and of course the pivot right there. You've got some screws holding in the lock bar insert and then the over travel, but no body screws. Let's take a look at this Solid. Same thing, pocket clip screws, lock bar insert, pivot, no body screws. Why is that? Well, that is because this is all one solid piece. One thick piece of titanium, which is at least as thick as its widest part, which is then completely milled from the inside. Now, you may be wondering, well, what's the normal construction for a knife like that? Well, here is a standard Framelock. As you can see, it has body screws because this piece is just a single flat piece. Then it has a backspacer, then it has the front scale. So it's a sandwich construction, right? The individual pieces are sandwiched together and then using a fixture of some kind are pulled together. So that's what we have going on here. Same thing on this Raytheon. This one happens to be a liner lock, but it's the same type construction, right? Front scale, backspacer, inside scale. This one has an inset piece of steel liner in here to act as the locking mechanism, but it's sandwiched together, and you've got, this one only has one body screw, which goes all the way through, but you've got a body screw here. It's got a mostly full flow-through design right there. Same with this one. Now, you can have a backspacer that runs all the way to the top, and that kind of creates a faux integral knife, right? Where they'll run a backspacer all the way up and maybe smooth everything so you can barely see the lines. But nevertheless, it's multiple pieces sandwiched together, whereas these are one solid piece of titanium that is then milled from the inside. Everything is stuffed in, and that's where you get this kind of really clean look. Now, why? What's the point of that? Good question. Good question. Like I said, the only real benefit I've been able to kind of pull from that is just simpler in terms of less fixtures, less screws, less parts, right? Because there's no backspacer, front scale, lock side scale. That's about it. However, it does introduce some more complexities and some more interesting things that make it a little bit more difficult. When you're dealing with lock bar inserts, you have to figure out how do you put that in there, because you can't access the inside of the scale, and that is why you have things like external screws on everything, external screw on this pocket clip. It would look way cleaner if it didn't have this screw right here, but there wouldn't be a way to put the screw in on the inside because you just don't have access, right? There's no way to get in there. So everything kind of has to be on the outside. Please comment down below. Do you like integrals? Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're a waste of money? Do you think they're a gimmick? Do you think they're just a visual thing and not anything that you would get? Let me know down below. Did you find this informative? Appreciate all you guys. Take care. I'm out.